All right, everyone, welcome to Tuesday's class. My name is Kate with Scott Leroy Marketing. Today, we're going to be taking a look at some of the new features within the Command platform. Um, this class may not take the full hour. We'll kind of just go through each thing and see how long it takes. But we're going to kind of go back a little bit to probably some of the updates in like February and March, as well as the most recent. They haven't had a ton of recent updates, so we're just going to make sure we cover quite a few of the most recent things that are going on within the Command platform. So without further ado, let's take a look at that. Before we jump into Command, just really quick, where you can access today's recording. In the event you'd like to refer back to any of the updates we're going to go over, you can find that on our YouTube channel. I'll go ahead and drop this link for you guys in the chat. Um, I always highlight the videos tab when I send this. The videos tab that is featured right here. This allows you to find the most recent content. So our newest uploads. So you'll see that this one was uploaded 3 days ago, 4 days ago, 5. So the videos tab is going to allow you to see that newest content. Like we're discussing today, new updates and features in Command. When you are looking for resources or training materials on different pieces of Command, it's going to be super important to make sure whatever you are watching or reviewing is up to date, just because Command is always changing. And if you're watching a video from maybe a year ago, maybe 6 months ago, something could have changed and the buttons or features may not look the same. So definitely pay attention to those upload dates, okay? But let's jump into Command, okay? Now, once you log into Command, you should see a screen similar to mine. Um, it can look a little different. They can be somewhat customizable by using this customize button. Um, they used to post the updates in this product updates. However, we haven't seen any since January. So we're going to be just taking a look at some that I found and kind of bookmarked that we can kind of just go through, okay? So the first one that I want to take a look at with you guys is going to be going over how to edit the theme of your KW site. Now, this is not a brand new feature. However, they've recently done some more updates to it. So some of the features within that edit the theme have changed a little bit, okay? So for this one, the first thing we want to do is we want to head to the websites section of Command. So you'll take a look at these icons on the left-hand menu. It's going to be the bottom one that says websites. We're going to head into that. Now, once we're there, we want to hit this Edit Agent Site, okay? So we're going to go ahead and hit that button right there. Now, once we're there, we're brought in to edit our homepage of our KW website, your branded consumer website. Within this, you're still within the Command platform, and you can make some very basic surface level edits to the home screen of your KW site. And one of those is going to be the theme of your website. So over here on the left-hand menu bar again, we're going to take a look at this Design Studio, okay? Now, once we click that Design Studio, you're going to be able to edit the theme of your site here. Now, you have a couple of little samples. You can go ahead and, I don't believe it matters which one you click on, but you can go ahead and hit that Edit Theme. And you're going to see that there's some different color options we can kind of pick through. Again, they've done a couple of updates to this. The most recent added these new green features or options that you can kind of take a look at. So we'll go ahead and pick one of those just so we can see what that looks like when we do this. You can also change the fonts that are going to appear on your website. So you can switch those up a little bit. Let's go ahead and pick this one just to change it. And then you can change the corners of different things on your site. For example, the search bar that pops up, you can make it square, pill, or just slightly rounded. Let's go ahead and switch it to the middle one. And then once we have all of that kind of selected, we can go ahead and hit Save Changes. Now, once we do that, you'll see we can kind of see some changes on here. We can hit the preview. I don't believe it shows all of them. Oh, actually, it looks like it is now. So you'll see that the fonts have changed. We're seeing that as a darker color here. Once you've decided on the theme that you'd like, you're going to go ahead and hit this Publish button in the top right-hand corner. I always like to do that because I like to see the website on the full browser. You can always come back and change the theme again. So just because you change it, you can still come back and change it. So as you can see, we're now seeing the green button. We're seeing that our font up here has changed. Um, and actually this one is white. So we've got the green banner up top. Now if we come back, we can go ahead and edit that theme again. Let's go ahead and select the mint dark and go back to the little bit fancier font. And then we're going to go ahead and publish again. Remember, you've always got to publish after you make those changes. You'll see a page published successfully. I could talk today. And then we can view our browser just so, like I said, we can get the big picture of those changes. So as you can see, we've got the Let's Find Your Dream Home. Our button has changed. If we scroll, we're seeing that mint green up top. You definitely want to check out some of these buttons. As you can see, when we hover over these, they're now green as well, okay? So it's not just going to be like the home screen that changes. Your various different pages are going to slightly change too. So when you change that theme, we always definitely recommend kind of take a look at all of the pages just to make sure whatever you've decided on you really like. And like I said, you can always come back, change something up, save it again. You can change this as much, as often as you'd like. And as they make these changes, they may add more color options, more options for customizing, things like that. But currently, these are the main changes you can kind of make. So now we have a more rounded button, things like that. Everything else should still be green. And you can kind of just go through those different themes, okay? So lots of options there in comparison to what they used to have. It just used to be a few options. So they're continuing to add to this. You can always revert to default if you've changed something and you really don't like it and can't remember what you set it at. You can always go back to the default options, okay? Once we're done though, we can go ahead and hit X out of this. That one's a pretty little simple update, just changing that theme of your site. All right, the next more recent update that I want to take a look at with you guys is going to be under our contacts applet. So I'm going to go back to our home screen. And from here, we're going to head into our contacts, okay? So that little person in the box. Now, once we're there, I want to point out a new little icon that's appearing right here on my home screen. So I'm now seeing a slash in a circle and also an exclamation in a triangle. Those are new identifiers that they've added to the command platform. That should be found under the email, and that's going to let you know that that email is undeliverable, or that that email has been unsubscribed from your emails, okay? So this is the new way for you to find those contacts easily and quickly within your command platform, okay? Now, with that being said, you can also now filter to find those contacts, okay? So if we go to filters and we come all the way to the bottom, you're going to see primary email alert, okay? We can click that. You can find contacts that have no alert. So if we turn that on, it's going to show us only valid emails that are still subscribed to our emails. That easily allows you to select all of those people and send them an email, add them to an email list, send an email campaign, whatever you'd like to do, but it's going to let you know that those are good emails. Now, of course, this one doesn't have an email, so we would have skipped that one. But that's going to let you know that they have good emails, they're still subscribed, and you can still send them mail through command. You can also change that. You can also look for undeliverable or just unsubscribed. By turning on those filters, it will pull up just those emails. So you can either make new tags, you can do whatever you might want to do. Maybe you want to remove their email so that you don't have it in there. Any of those options you can always kind of do. Let's see, any question, do we add our own contacts? You will add your own contacts to command. There's a couple of ways to do that. You can do them one by one. You can import them from your mobile device. You can export your mobile device and have them imported to command. So there's a few ways to go about that. As far as automatically updating when you add a new contact, I believe you would have to first send an email. I haven't tested that just yet, but I believe you have to send the email first in order for it to either flag it as undelivered or unsubscribed. Okay. Now with these icons, also, if you were to click into those contacts, you guys, it's also going to alert you. Right next to the email, it's going to let you know, hey, this email is not valid, okay? So it's letting us know that's why it's undelivered. If we go to our next one, also, email not valid. Now, we made up these emails, so of course they're not valid. They're fake emails. On the next one, it's going to let us know I'm unsubscribed. Now, when a contact unsubscribes, there's a couple of options for unsubscribing. They can unsubscribe from all command emails, and they can also unsubscribe from certain emails that you send them, the type that you're sending. So you'll see either all, or you won't see that. So those are going to be the different options for that one, okay? But it will let you know right there next to their email that they've also unsubscribed. You'll also be able to find that within the timeline for each contact. You'll be able to see when they unsubscribed and all of that. So as you can see, unsubscribe from all marketing through command email. Okay. Take a quick look at our chat. Okay. All right. So that is the new way to identify those contacts that are undelivered or unsubscribed. Now, the next one I want to take a look at with you is also going to be within the contact card here, okay? Let me find my little article just to make sure I have everything pulled up. I want to point out this AI summary, okay? So this is a new feature within Command. It's going to give you a summary. Basically, it's going to create a summary for you based on the most recent interactions with this specific client, okay? So it's going to be based on the activities that are entered into Command. So you would have to be sending them a smart plan email, a campaign. You would have to be tracking an activity. Activities are going to vary based on these items, meeting, call, email, etc. You're going to be tracking your activities, your interactions with that person, and your AI timeline up here is basically going to update, okay? In order for that to populate, though, a contact does need to have at least 5 events logged within the last year. So if you're not seeing a summary up there, you may not have enough activity on that contact to be kind of triggering that AI summary, okay? So as you can see, this one is letting us know that a summary will be provided once the context timeline has at least 5 notes, logged activities, or interactions. Now, those interactions don't just have to be you sending them stuff. It's also letting you know if they've logged into the app or the website, things like that. It's also going to take those activities into account and kind of give a summary of all of those items and interactions with that specific client, okay? So that is the new summary. And you can always hide this if you don't want to see it. You can, even if there is an actual summary there, you can always close this to kind of hide it out of your way, okay? I don't see any questions, so let's keep on moving. So I'm going to go back to our command home screen, okay? The next kind of little update that I want to cover with you guys is kind of a big one. It's the fact that kwconnect.com has gone away, okay? There used to be a separate website called kwconnect.com. All of the things within that kwconnect.com platform have been moved over into Connect within the command platform, okay? So we're going to head there and take a look. Connect has been in command for a very long time. This is not a new button. However, a lot of the things that used to go into kwconnect.com are now funneling into command directly through this button, okay? So you can still find a lot of the same things. A big one that I want to show you guys are the logos, okay? So the KW logos for your Market Center and the generic Keller Williams logos, you used to have to go to kwconnect.com to find those. Now, if you come to Connect, you can just search, and I'm going to have it pretty high at the top. You can search logos, okay? And in doing that, it's going to pull up the logos and branding. If we click into that, you're going to see a pop-up. We can go ahead and click on this. You click on this image at the top and it's going to open a new browser. And I'm hoping it's going to work today because sometimes it doesn't work for me. No. If it doesn't work, that's okay. I have the page bookmarked, but I did want to show you guys. So that's no fun. But anyways, when you click on that, it should redirect you and allow you to find the logos. Let's try. There we go, it worked. So you should be redirected to here, okay? You can find the style guide, the ownership statement, all of these other items you can find. If you come just a little bit down, you'll find Market Center logos, okay? This is where you can find your office specific logo. So every office has their own logo since each office is independently owned. And most likely, you're going to be wanting to use your Market Center specific logo, okay? Coming here will allow you to find a folder that's going to have all of the different variations and colors of those logos, okay? So if we click this button that says Get Your Market Center Logos, it's going to redirect us to this spreadsheet here. And I'll go ahead and drop this in the chat for you guys as well. Once you're in this spreadsheet, my easiest way to find the Market Center that I'm looking for is to do Control F on my keyboard, okay? From there, I can type in whatever Market Center I'm looking for. So if I'm with Market Center 45, I can type that in. I can also use these arrows to find the office that I am looking for. They're not numerical currently, so you kind of have to hunt. That's why I recommend this Control F. But we've now found Market Center 45. We have the name. We can preview the logo. And let me make sure my sharing is correct here so you guys can see what I'm doing. So we can go ahead and preview that logo and click the hyperlink. In doing that, it's going to open a new browser so that we can see that specific logo for that office. If we go back, we can also find the download link. So if we click that hyperlink there and then click this one, it's going to download a folder. You can see it up here. We have a new folder. I'm going to open that up. I'm going to extract all of the contents. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to find my new downloaded folder right here, and I can take a look at all of those different logos. Now, I primarily take a look at the CMYK and this black and white. If you click into that, you'll see that we have a few different color options, different formats. This one has a white background, whereas these have transparent backgrounds. That's going to allow me to find those logos. So I can use them on all of my different marketing. Maybe I'm making signs or postcards or any type of marketing. I'll have a logo that will work no matter what background I'm putting it on. If we also go to the black and white, same thing, you're going to have different color options and different formats. White background, no background. I do like to mention here that not every single office will be found on this spreadsheet. Some offices have their own logos, and you'd want to reach out to your office directly for that if you're not seeing it on here. I also want to mention that not every office has all of the same color options and formats. So if you're logging in and only seeing one color option or one format, that would be the only thing that's available currently for your office. You can always reach out to your staff to see if they have something else, but generally, whatever is available on here in these folders is going to be what has been provided for your office, okay? All right, and I think I dropped that in the chat so you guys can bookmark that. You don't have to go through Connect every time if you have this, but once you download this, you probably don't need this link anymore. Go ahead and close this one and this one. Now, other things you can find on here, other logos. So you have the generic KW logos. You can always download those and use those as well. And everything else that was previously within the Connect, kwconnect.com can also be found here. So tons of training materials, resources if you're looking for Ignite. If you want to find local events or even regional events, you can come in here, find your office. You can search by the type of the event, the cost, digital, hybrid, in person, etc. Another thing within here if you came into connect.com during family reunion, when they have big events like that, they usually will have some type of live stream for certain events. Um, and they did within family reunion, and there was like a little recording button right here below the calendar where you could jump on the live stream. So you can always come here to check for that as well. If there is something that's being live streamed by KW, you can generally come here to find that. Okay? All right, we're going to go back to command, and we'll just keep plugging along. The next little item that I have that is a newer update, this is primarily going to be for anyone that's on a team, okay? If you don't have a team, totally okay. I'm going to switch to Scott's team just so we can just quickly take a look at it. As they're moving things into command, like KW Connect and different reports from in my KW, there will probably be more reports that show up here. So this is a good place to just know where it is. Where in the future there may be more reports, not just for teams, but for solo agents as well to come look at. So just keep that in mind. There's not currently, but in the future there probably will be. So if you're on a team, you can now come here and see additional reports, okay? There are team statistics portal. That's going to allow you to find team member roster and production summary, team multi-year trends, transaction detail. You can also come down to team and group performance and find detail and rankings. So just a couple of new reports. A lot of these reports you used to have to go to my KW for, and you would find them under reports. You can still find a lot of reports under that specific button, but like I said, it sounds like they're going to be moving a lot of those into Connect or into Command in the future. So there will probably be more reports available through here down the line, is my guess. Now, I'm not going to jump into those reports. I don't want to show anything, that I shouldn't be showing. So we're going to leave those. This is where you can access and find those different types of reports. So if you're on a team and interested in looking at those, you can come right here and find those. Okay. All right. Our next little item, we're going to head into settings for, okay? So we're going to come up, I'm going to go back to the personal account. And from here, we're going to go into our settings. And from here, we're going to come to command settings. We're going to come back down to smart plans and time and date. Now, there are a couple of new items here that are available. The newest being the text date restrictions. If you are a person that is using Twilio to send automated text through smart plans in command, there's some legal compliance related restrictions that they've added these for, okay? So there are a few states in the US that are limited as to what days you can legally text consumers, okay? Some states you're not allowed to text on Sundays, and there are also specific state or federal holidays that are also restricted. Okay, with these restrictions that you're seeing in the texting, it's not based on where you live, the agent, it's based on where your contacts live that you are going to be sending texts to. Okay, so there's a couple of options. It's going to say, do you have contacts that live in Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Dakota, or Utah? If you know for sure that you have contacts in those states, you can hit yes. You can identify which states you have contacts in, and it will set up those restrictions for you, okay? It's going to go through all of the details down here, so you can kind of read through those. It's going to automatically send those texts if you had something set up to send out on that day. It's going to automatically send those texts the following day, okay? So it won't be sent on the holiday, it will be sent the day after. Now the other option is you can put that no, you don't have any contacts in these states. Or if you're not sure, you can always just play it safe and use the unknown. And it's going to automatically restrict those on those days, okay? So like I said, few options there. If you know for sure you have contacts in those states, or if you don't, you can adjust that. There is also Oh, with this being said, it will automatically default to the unknown if you don't come in and fill this out yourself. So if you log in and see it's already set to this, it will automatically default there just to make sure you are covered. Okay. Now, with that also being said, you can also adjust your time zone for smart plans. Okay, so if you have not done this yet, definitely recommend. This will help make sure that your smart plans are only sending within the window of 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Okay, that's going to help with your emails being probably delivered. They won't be sent to spam as easily, things like that. So definitely make sure you come in, select your correct time zone, and save those changes. Okay, so once you have everything set, go ahead and hit save changes in the top right-hand corner, and that will update these for you. Okay, just gonna take a quick look at the chat. Um, Tony, I'm not sure. Are you referring to the date restrictions or contracts? I'm not sure. If you want to provide more info, I can see if I can help with your question though. Okay, keep on moving. See what else we've got to take a look at here. Let's see. Oh, they've recently made a change to exporting your contacts, okay? So if you go into contacts and you want to export your entire database from command, you can still come up and click the three dots. You can still click export all contacts, okay? What's going to be done is it's going to send a link, and that was really quick, so you may not have seen it. Let's try it again. It's going to send a link to your KW Communications email. Once that link is sent over to your communications email, you can go in there and download that folder, okay? Or download that file. Now, that file does have an expiration. You do have to open that link within 24 hours and grab those contacts, or you'll have to go through the process again. This is just to protect your database and make sure that you are the one who's accessing, exporting, and has it. So with that being said, if you need to check on your KW Communications email or change that email, you can do that by coming to your profile. So my profile. And then from there, if you go to my KW, you will find your KW Communications email right here. It will let you know what that email is, and you can edit that, okay? This is where you will receive all of those KW official announcements and communications. The daily digest that comes from the Market Center, all of those emails are going to go to whatever email you have listed here as the KW Communications email. And it's also going to be where that export goes to. So you can, of course, hit that edit button and change that information, change that email, but that's where that new export file is going to go to and how you can come in and edit that, okay? Let me take a quick look at the chat again. Yes, Tony, that is specific to your contacts. So there are specific states that do not allow those text messages to be sent on those holidays or Sundays. So if you have contacts that live in those states, you'll want to make sure you go in and adjust that. Okay, keep on plugging away here. Let's see, we went over those two. All right, we only have a couple more, or maybe one more, and then we can go into any questions you guys have. The last one I want to go over with you guys, that is, I don't want to go back too far, so most of these updates I'm covering with you guys are back to like January, February. I don't want to go farther back than that. But if you guys have specific questions on any updates that you've seen or something I missed, let me know. But let's go over the last one. The last one I want to go over with you guys is going to be available within the campaigns section of Command. So I'm going to head there. It's the little megaphone. And from there, again, it's the paid ads. So to access this one, we want to go to the paid ad quick start. And while that loads, so this is kind of a cool new feature because now when you're setting up a campaign, um, when you set the all of the details, so when you set the duration, the budget, it's going to give you kind of an estimate of how many leads you're probably or most likely going to get based on your historical data. So if you've ran a lot of campaigns and you're coming in to set up a new one, it's going to kind of give you an idea of what to expect based on your previous campaigns and the information that you're creating for that specific one. So to see that estimate, what you would want to do, and I'm going to go into one of our already created programs because we have a ton of drafts. So we'll just take a look at one of these. Now, once we create our paid ad, we've got all of our stuff added and linked. I'm just going to go ahead and grab a URL. We're just going to grab a random one to toss in here for now. Oh, it's got too many of these. Okay. So we give that just a second. Okay. And now when I go ahead and hit proceed to the last step, you'll see that it's giving me an estimate right here. Now this can change based on the information that you change. So like I said, if you're changing the duration, the budget, let's say we want to run this for, let's see, 527. Say we want to run this for a week. Maybe it won't update based on that. Maybe it doesn't matter. Yeah, see, it's not changing. So mostly just the budget, I guess, is what's going to really impact that estimate. So if we change this higher, we're going to get more leads. We go lower, less leads. So it's going to give you an estimate, again, based on, as it says, estimate based on it vocalizes analysis of historical data across all users, so not just yours, which may includes those outside of your organization. Individual performance, of course, may vary. So this is an estimate, not a guarantee. So if you are looking at this, spending $100 and saying, oh, I should have at least 11 leads, I should have up to 21, that is just an estimate. It's not the most accurate thing. So just take that into account. It's just kind of giving you an idea of how many to maybe expect, okay? But that is new. So that is a new feature. All right, I'm gonna go back to our home screen. And I think it covered all of the newer updates. Let me just take a quick look, make sure I didn't miss anything that is newer. If you guys have questions or something that you've seen and have questions on, definitely drop those in the chat for me. The length of this class can always fluctuate based on how many updates KW kind of has put out, and there hasn't been a ton over the last month, so just a few. Okay, yeah, I don't really see too many others, so let me go ahead and stop record and let's go through questions. Not sure why that's spinning so much. Driving me crazy. All right, let's stop record and go through any questions. If you guys don't have questions and want to jump off, that's totally fine too. Thank you so much for coming today. I hope this was helpful and that some of these updates were new to you and you can kind of go and take a look at them yourself. So we'll go ahead and stop recording.